I went to the dentist and he told me I needed a crown. I was like, fucking A right. You can tell. I am the king.
Grab a jam, I swear, this is down. It's my podcast. This guy's insane. Rock your brain. It's just a sound. A Steve here
Smack 'em a gob. It's time for another Vieira Vault, and this week is another donated episode, but this one's a unique donated one because this person I have on my show this week actually donated not only to the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast, but he donated to the Vieira Vault, which was awesome because I remember the little donation page you wrote for the Vieira Vault, and I really do appreciate that, brother. And I have with me all the way from the land, from down under, the place that makes the Vegemite sandwich. We have TJ James. How you doing there, TJ?
I am thrilled to be here with the mighty Ralph Vieira.
Thank you so much, brother. And I find you quite mighty myself, bro.
Yep, excellent. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be great. Now, I don't want you to be offended because I'm going to set it up right now to let you know that I am a bona fide Black Sabbath tard. Okay?
That's fine. So am I.
You are a Motley Crue tard.
Oh, yeah, no. Of course. No, I'm an absolute Motley Crue tard. Absolutely. But, yeah, I do own all the Sabbath stuff, and I mean all the Sabbath stuff as well. Right
on, dude. That's awesome. That's very, very cool. And but we're gonna do as you see the title of this week's podcast. You donated and you hit me up. I don't know, maybe like a week or two ago because you didn't know what to do. You weren't sure.
No. You know, I was trying to think of a cool angle, but I mean, I've got to be honest. The real reason I did that was because I just wanted to hang out with you, man.
Right on, brother.
But I'm just, I tried to think of something cool to talk about. I thought we could talk about a little bit about, being independent musicians and also talk about the not so often touched upon Vince Neil solo catalog.
Right on, yes. And when you said that to me, I said, oh, now that's a great subject because it is. You're right. It's not very much talked about. And I'm actually a fan of it. And it's kind of amazing I'm a fan of it because this music is not really my type of music, but sometimes there's, like everything, there's an exception to every rule. Like, I'm not a big fan of, like, the glam metal stuff, but I love Night Songs from Cinderella. I'm not too big of a fan of what they did afterwards when they got all bluesy because that first Cinderella album was like Somebody Save Me, Night Songs, Nothing for Nothing, some good heavy stuff. But they were glammed out to the max. Now, the Vince Neil stuff is not that, I'm talking really about the first album. Exposed is pretty glam, not, in the glam cock rock genre as you may. And, but I really, really like this album.
Mm-hmm.
I think the musicianship is great. I think the songwriting is great. And gasp, I think Vince sounds great. Go ahead.
I think Vince, I've got to be honest, and I'm a huge Motley fan, so I've seen them 6 times, and you might think, oh, that's not that many times, but you have to remember that I live in Sydney, Australia, and they've only been to Australia first, I think 5 times. 5 times. I saw them on the Feelgood tour, and I've seen them every time they've been here, and hopefully with this reunion, which I was kind of really quite pissed about for a day because I really believed all that stuff, and I saw your videos talking about the fact that they hoodwinked us all, and I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I was, kind of pissed, but then I thought, yeah, but they're my favourite band.
Right.
So I agree with you with everything you said, but at the same time, if they come to Australia again, am I going to see it? You bet I am.
Right on, man. I'm not, but I mean, I have, I've seen a lot of them. I don't know how many. I probably saw me even more than you.
Oh yeah, you would.
Let me think. Shot the Devil, Theater of Pain, Girls, 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 Doctor Feelgood, um, Generation Swine, the Greatest Hits album, and that farewell tour. I saw them one more time than you, seven
Did,
times.
did you see them? Did you see them with on the Maximum Rock tour with Randy?
Yes, Randy Castillo, and with the girls. So I've seen them nine times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
saw him with
man.
Samantha Maloney and
Hmm.
Randy Castillo with the Scorpions. Yes, so I did. I've seen Molly Crew quite a few times, and
They
I'm
were.
not. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of Motley Crue after Shout, though I can name songs off of basically every album they did afterwards, including Generation Swine, that I like songs off of. The only album that they did that I didn't like any song off of was the last one, Saints of Los Angeles. I didn't like anything off that. I liked, believe it or not, I liked the ballads on New Tattoo. I liked them a lot in the song
Mm,
Fake. The
mm.
rest was like, to me, terrible. Oh, and the cover of White Punks on Dope was cool. But Use It or Lose It. I liked off of Theater of Pain, Fight for Your Rights. Wild Side, I liked a lot. Something for Nothing, which is a song very much hated. I like that song. I like the song Doctor Feelgood. I liked Kickstart, but that's about it off that album. I liked Primal Scream a lot. I liked Let Us Pray, Find Myself, Glitter.
Mm.
I remember getting shit for that one for liking Glitter. But hey, man, I like what I like. Fuck it. I make no excuses.
Well, I
Um,
mean, yeah, that's right.
but
I mean, look. The thing is, and I've come to, I think a lot about this stuff, and I think that there's something about a band that you love. Um, and Motley Crue is the only band I can honestly say I love every song that they ever
mm,
did. But I think there is a point with a lot of bands we love where that sound becomes so familiar to you, you
right.
know, and then I think because it's familiar to you, it's kind of comforting to you in a way, and so you kind of look at it. Yeah, I probably do look at Motley Crue. Absolutely, look at Motley Crue with rose-colored glasses. I probably do.
Yep.
Um, but
I
but I
do the
think.
same with Sabbath, but sometimes my rose-colored glasses gets fogged up when I hear songs like Rock
Mm,
and Roll Doctor and She's Gone. I can't bring
mm.
myself to like those songs, and Breakout. But I understand where you're coming from because everything else I fucking absolutely love.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, but Motley Crue's like the only band I can say that about. I
No, there you
can't.
go.
I can't say that about. I mean, I love AC/DC, but I can't say that I love every single song from every single album. You know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, hey, you like what you like. If it sounds good to you, fuck what anybody thinks, including me. You know?
Well, and you know what? And if it sounds good to you, then get fucked what I think.
Exactly. You're right. Because the thing is, what you think, if you disagree with me, it doesn't make the song any worse.
No.
You know, and that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand because a lot of people online think they're making a point by saying, "Well, I don't like it." And I'm like, "Well, you do understand I'm not you." You
That's
know,
right. And
and people, yeah, it's
I,
just people are stupid.
I'm in the. I mean, I'm a musician. That's what I do for a living, and I was being mentored for a few years by um, a guy called Jeff Varner, who worked directly with Motley Crue at 10th Street Entertainment,
Mm,
and who still manage Motley Crue, and they've been managing Motley Crue since 1995. Alan Kovac runs that company, and Jeff Varner now manages Slash, and
okay.
he doesn't work there anymore. He's working with Slash now, but my favorite Motley Crue stuff is the stuff from 1991 onwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
and
that's kind of rare because a lot of people really tend to like the first, like me, the first two the best.
I mean, the self-titled album is the greatest album I've ever heard in my life by any band ever.
Oh, wait a second. Wait. Back up a second here. Are you going to tell me the best Motley Crue album is the Karabi album?
That's the best album I've ever heard in my life by any band.
You know, I have said, for years, I've said Shout is their best album. And then it dawned on me, I take my walk with my iPod, and I decided, because I love that self-titled album, I decided to listen to it on my walk. And I thought, you know what? This is their best album. But now I'm kind of like, it's tied with Shout. And I used to think Shout was the best. Then I thought that was the best. But now I'm kind of like, I revisit Shout a lot. Yeah. And I'm like, nah, that fucking album. That to me, that and the Karabi album are just like tied. So what was your initial experience? How did you get turned on to Motley Crue?
Okay, there was a show in Australia, all through the 70s and 80s, or mid 70s to mid 80s, and it was called Countdown, and it was on every week, and I
know that show, by the way, because I have a lot of I'm a bootleg collector from back in the day, and Cheap Trick was on there.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah,
they have a big Countdown logo behind them, when they play the show.
And the very first time I heard, and the very first time I saw Motley Crue or heard about Motley Crue was in rock magazines when I was like 83, 84, so I would have been 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were satanic,
You thought they were what?
I thought they were satanic,
Oh.
Yeah, and obviously they're not. But
well, that's a Australian term. I don't know what telly means. Telly, I know, means television and
television. Yeah. And so, but the very first thing I ever heard was in 1985. They showed on Countdown. They showed Smoking in the Boys' Room,
mm-hmm.
and I loved it. I thought it was awesome, And I obviously, I was 12 by that point. Had no idea who Brownsville Station was or any of that, obviously.
Right.
And so I really liked the song. And then fast forward, I kept hearing Theatre of Pain or that song at least over the next year and a half, because that was when Theatre of Pain first came out. Would have been about June or July 85. And then I kept hearing it, and so I had a voucher, like a gift certificate to buy an album, So I bought Theatre of Pain, but this is like April of 87, just before Girls, Girls, Girls came out. And I really liked the album. I liked it, and then I bought Girls, Girls, Girls when it first came out, and I really liked it. I was kind of obsessed with that for about a couple of weeks, and then I started listening to other stuff. But then my real obsession started for real, and it's been going on for 31 years now, was when Dr. Feelgood came out. I thought that was the heaviest, like sonically heaviest drums I'd ever heard, and I thought the production was unbelievable. I didn't know who Bob Rock was then, but I do now. And I thought it was just sonically a masterpiece, and that was basically all I listened to for about a year. And
wow.
And I saw them on that tour play in Sydney, because they came here and they played a couple of nights in Sydney, a couple of nights in Melbourne, and a night in Brisbane. And my dad was cool enough to take me, and that was just the greatest concert I've ever seen in my life.
Right on. Did he do the flying drums at that one?
No, he did the cage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the spinning around cage, like Girls, Girls, Girls?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if did they start the tour over there? I don't even know.
No way. No, they started the tour. Well, I think the first show was at the Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood, where they filmed the Kickstart video.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
yeah.
and then
And
they
then America.
started in Europe
Oh, okay.
because they cancelled Europe for January 87, 88. They were supposed to go there, but that was when Nicky OD'd, so they cancelled Europe. So they started in Europe, and then I think the US started in about November of '89.
Okay. I
And they
did see
they
that
came,
tour.
came here
I
in May of '90.
okay. I can't remember when. I saw him in '90. It was one of the early shows in the American tour, but I'm not too sure where they started that tour. But
But
yeah, it was a good show.
you have to remember, like, timeline is everything, and
Oh, of course.
because how old were you when Shout at the Devil came out?
I was 18.
Yeah, see, I was um 15 or 16 when Feelgood came out, and I didn't really. I think I did know I did know about the other albums at that point, but for some reason that record just pushed me over the edge.
Well, I discovered Motley Crue at 16.
Yeah,
When I saw the Live Wire video on MTV. Though
yeah.
I do remember seeing them in magazines before I saw the video, but when I saw that Live Wire video, I was completely blown away. I was like, "Wow, this is awesome!" They look like Kiss, and it's kind of like a thrashy riff, kind of punk rocky, but catchy. There was a lot that Too Fast for Love album is a mishmash of a lot of they never repeated that, but that's the thing about Motley Crue. They always changed their sound.
Yeah, that
Every
was
album, I don't think. Yeah, you can't like say any album sounds like the last one.
no, but I
You
mean,
know.
I think, look, there were always elements that sounded similar, you know, but that was the cool thing. I mean, I love the fact that they changed their logo every album. I love the fact that and apparently they made all those changes, and I think Nicky said it was out of boredom, really. They'd get a look, and then they kind of felt like everyone would maybe copy it.
Well,
So
that was one thing about Motley Crue. They set trends a lot because if you remember, Theater of Pain, a lot of bands went that route. I mean, Judas Priest started wearing colors in their stuff with Turbo, and the Ultimate Sin got all glammy and glitzy. As far as image wise, they really did set the trend in the 80s. And they were huge. I mean, they were the biggest band uh, to me in the 80s. I mean, not my favorite, but they were definitely huge.
you see,
And
but
uh,
I discovered music when I was 4 years old, and that's what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I knew that at 4 years old, and and initially I was into Elvis because and I still love Elvis to this
oh
day.
yeah, I'm a big Elvis
But
fan.
you look at the visuals that Elvis had in the '70s, right?
Yeah.
With all those suits and jumpsuits and all that stuff, And then I discovered Kiss when I was 7 in like 1980,
Hmm.
right?
Oh yeah, they were huge over there in '80.
But all of these bands, like Elvis was very visual, Kiss was very visual, AC/DC was next. They were very visual. Van Halen was very visual with Roth,
Right.
and so it would make sense that I would like Motley Crue because they were also very visual, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were, and they did. I mean, especially that early stuff. It's kind of like, Kiss was well, not in Australia, but down here, it's like, man, after '79, nobody cared about Kiss anymore, and
Mm,
they were kind of like they kind of like took the baton, as you would say, from Kiss, and they became the Kiss of the '80s because Kiss was, you know. I was 12, 13 when I discovered Kiss. And when you're a little kid in the '70s at that time, it
yeah,
was hard to escape Kiss.
yeah,
And Kiss to me was the ultimate gateway band because of Kiss, I got more into hard rock. I liked, I loved ELO, I loved Kansas before, and then, Cheap Trick, Styx. I loved all that stuff, but it didn't really gravitate me to check out other bands till Kiss.
See, I can't. I love all those bands, and the heaviest band that I'm into is probably Pantera.
Right.
You see, because with me, I'm a I'm a songwriter. That's what I do. I write songs and I play shows. But I am I'm very much about the don't bore us, get to the chorus. I'm that guy because I was raised on commercial arena rock, you
Right.
know, and and people like Mellencamp and people like Cheap Trick and the Beat. It was all about melody. The Beatles were all about melody. The Stones were all about melody. All these bands with all these great songs. So it's really hard for me to. I mean, I like Slipknot and all that stuff. I try to listen to that stuff too because I refuse to be musically closed-minded, But I don't really love a guy screaming at me about how he hates his life,
Right.
because
Yeah.
I'm just not that guy,
Yeah.
I'm
You
just,
can't identify with it.
I mean, I try to take the best of everything and listen to that, but I just love melody too much, man.
I hear you, man. So, what did you think? I'm sure you were gutted when you found out Vince was out of Motley Crue,
I
right?
cried.
Wow.
I cried.
Um,
Absolutely.
as I recall, and I could have the timeline wrong. I should have did my research. But man, I remember when Vince left Motley Crue or kicked out of because both sides are saying something different. He quit, and
Hmm.
Vince said he was fired. I could have the timeline wrong, but I remember when, as I recall, when Vince was fired, like less than a month later, he already had a video for "You're Invited, but your friend can't come."
That's
It was like
that's
a month later, right, or even
that's
less.
I'm
It
um
it was
yeah,
really
yeah,
quick.
well, it did come out very, very quickly, the single, and I bought it. I remember hearing it on the radio on a metal show here in I used to live in Canberra, which is ACT, which is the capital city of Australia, and heard it on the radio and didn't even hesitate. I mean, the guy that was a metal DJ was bagging it out to the hilt, you know,
Oh, okay.
and
It did well over there.
no,
Okay, yeah, it didn't
no,
do well over
no,
here either.
no. But I remember distinctly the guy saying, "And tonight we're going to put the boot into Vince Neil."
Oh
I'll
boy,
I'll never forget that. But I went out and got it the next day. Didn't even think about it. But
yeah,
yes, it did come out very quickly in
I
'90.
was I
But
was not impressed.
Casino Man.
I wasn't impressed. I'll be honest with you. When I saw the video, I was like, it's cool that Steve Stevens because I'm
No,
not a
no,
big.
it wasn't Steve Stevens.
Oh,
It,
and it's not Stevens. Well, he's in the video. That's why I thought he played
no,
on the.
no, he's not. No, he's not. It came out as a single first because you got to remember, Exposed didn't come out till 1993,
Right.
right? So you're invited, but your friend can't come. Came from the Encino Man soundtrack, which was from '92, and yeah, I forgot who played guitar, but I know Vicky Fox was playing drums, and uh, I
Bobby
can't.
Crane on bass.
Yeah, yeah, but
But Steve Stevens is not in that video.
no, not at
Wow, I
all.
could have sworn he was. I
Yeah,
guess I'm
no,
wrong.
no, no. The first video that Steve Stevens did was the Sister of Pain video.
Okay. Wow. Wow, I did not know that. I could. Well, I'll tell you this, and I know this for sure. I'm positive about this. Before Exposed came out, Vince Neil did perform "You're Invited, but you can't from. It wasn't the Video Music Award. It was some other MTV show, and Steve
Yes,
Stevens was there
uh,
on that live performance.
yeah, yeah, maybe, yeah, you may be right. I'd have to,
Um,
I'd have to look at that again, but yeah, I'm assuming you're right. Yeah,
but
I
I
think it.
wasn't
I think it
really.
was.
Yeah.
I think it was the MTV Video Awards, wasn't it?
Well, empty. No, no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay.
I have it. I have it somewhere.
Yeah.
I remember it was some other show they did, and because MTV had a lot of different shows, live events,
Yeah.
and they were part of it. And I remember, and it was when the single was obviously fairly new. So if
Hmm.
he wasn't on the video, he soon joined right after that video was done.
Yeah. I mean, he does. There is. I mean, we'll get into Exposed soon, but um, there is a version of. It's a different version of You're Invited, but your friend can't come on Exposed.
Oh man, you see, I didn't even know that. I had no idea. I always was under the impression he played on that song and he was in that video, but
Right.
I haven't seen
He
that
didn't
video
play
in
on,
eons.
but he played on the song on the album.
Well, I gotta tell you, I don't recall because I must have heard, um, "Look in Her Eyes." I must have heard that song for me to buy the album because that song just completely blew me away.
Yeah.
So, because the strength of "You're Invited, but your friend can't come" did not entice me to
Mm.
buy it, but it must have been that song. And when I bought the album, this you got to remember, this is 1993 in America.
I think it's May 1993. I've got to check that, but I think it's May 93 the album came out.
I just know that it wasn't that genre was dying out. It
Hmm.
was still around. I mean, a lot of people don't remember, but during the height of Nirvana and all that shit, air bands were still playing arenas and stuff. They were just on their last gasps, you know. But 91, 92, but 93 it was already. And Vince Neil did a balls out, you know, 80s album because that's what Exposed is to me. It sounds like an 80s album.
Yeah, very true. Very
And
true.
but
It
it's very good though.
it does, but it does have some other kind of cool elements on it that you wouldn't necessarily think were typical. Like there's a couple of songs that I mean a lot of the songs I completely agree with you. They're very 80s sounding, and it's 80s sounding generally. April 27th it came out in the States. So I got it in May. So we must have got it just a bit after. Um,
Yeah, I did get it when it was new. And I saw the tour, but by that time Steve was gone. I know they opened for Van Hagar and
hmm
but that didn't come my way. I don't think I would have went though, because you know how I feel about Van Hagar.
Correct,
But
sir.
but he did play a club here, maybe like end of '93, early '94, and it wasn't with Steve Stevens. He was already out.
Hmm.
But I think this album it's very slick. The production's very slick on it, but it doesn't bother me. Usually it does, but the songs are strong on it. Very, very strong. There's a couple songs that I kind of like. I'll give you an example. Like I'm looking at track listing now because I
Hmm.
was listening to this album yesterday.
Hmm.
Songs I have problems with. Fine, Fine Wine. I like the solo in that song, but Um, and You're Invited with Your Friend Can't Come. Sister of Pain, I'm kind of on the fence of. I don't really hate it, but it doesn't really. It wouldn't be a song that would make me buy the album. But
Hmm.
dude, everything else, including the ballads, I dig all that
Oh,
stuff.
so what? How do you want to do this? Do you want to go track by track, or do you just want to discuss the album generally, or what do you want to do?
Well, yeah, we don't really have to go track by track. I mean, we could talk about our favorite tracks.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
mine on this one would definitely be Look in Her Eyes would be my favorite, but a very close second would be Living in Luxury. Living is a luxury.
You see,
Uh,
that's the song that um I don't think is very typical.
yeah, that The Edge is not that typical either
Yeah, yeah,
off that album. But I think that's about it. Everything else is kind of typical. Uh, Getting Hard is typical, and that's a good
yeah,
song. I like that one too. I like
I,
The Edge a lot. That one's
yeah.
pretty cool.
I mean, I basically I love. I mean, I really like to love all of this album. Um, Probably my least favorite song would be maybe Getting Hard. Um, um, I love the cover version of Set Me Free. It's
Very good
sweet.
cover.
And I don't know if you know this. You probably have you got the B-sides to this album?
No, what are they? Because I'm sure I've heard them.
Okay. There's a cover of, I think, a Rod Stewart song, I think, or a Faces song.
Oh,
Blondes.
blondes have more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And the cover version of I Want to Be Sedated, which kind of got me into the Ramones a little bit,
I've heard that as well.
which
Yeah.
is very cool. I the songs that I absolutely love off here though are Forever. I think that's a
Mm.
fabulous song. I think Can't Change Me is fabulous.
The two ballads.
Yeah, I mean Can't Change Me. I mean Can't Change Me especially is just an unbelievable song. Um, let's Fine Wine's pretty cool. I mean the whole thing, but I mean it's funny because when this album came out, I mean I really like it now. But when I remember when the album came out, I thought this sounds just like Motley Crue, and
Right.
not as good. And
Right.
because being used to the Bob Rock production of the last couple of Motley records, I remember thinking it sounded a bit kind of not as much sonic bass depth in it, not as it was
Yeah,
weird.
bombastic like the drums and stuff like that.
Yeah, but now I love it. But I wonder if this would have been possibly the direction that Motley Crue would have headed in had Vince Neil stayed in the band. What do you think?
No way. No way, because at the time Nicky was starting to, like, you can hear in interviews, he was starting to like kind of like trying to distance himself from even his music, like, because he would always bash like Poison and the hair metal stuff, and he saw the writing on the wall of a new movement going to happen, and he wanted to move on. That self-titled Motley album, I mean, you hear hints of classic Crue in it, but it's definitely not a Motley Crue album. Not to me, not to my ears. It's an awesome album though. As I was saying earlier, I think it's their best album with Shout at the Devil. But it really, I mean, I know they changed their sound, but this one, like Hooligans Holiday, and I mean, it's just so radically different. Welcome to the Numb.
Well, don't you think Hooligan's Holiday sounds like Round and Round?
Rat?
No, Aerosmith.
Oh, if you believe in me, that's that one, right? Well, I believe in you.
From Toys in the Attic.
Toys in the Attic, yeah. Great song, really heavy song. I don't know, you know what? I'd have to listen to them back to back. I don't, at the moment, I can't get the connection. I will say Welcome to the Numb sounds like Aerosmith.
Yeah.
It has like an Aerosmith vibe to it, but like a very, like, 70s heavy Aerosmith, the shit I love. But
I think it's an absolute travesty that 10,000 Miles was left off that record, by the way.
Great song. I have that Music to Crash Your Cars to.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's on there. There's a couple. There was a couple other songs that didn't make it on that album too that I have somewhere.
I remember Nikki Sixx saying in Metal Edge at the time that people heard 10,000 Miles and they said, if you put this on, this will be a #1 single, and that's why he left it off. Which is just, are you nuts?
Yeah, and that's another thing, because Motley Crue at the time, Nikki was saying stuff. I'm just so bored of the big arena stuff, and it just he just wanted to get more, underground, or just he started to act grunge You
Mm.
know, like, he wanted to be like not so popular, but he really did change it soon when he got his wish,
Yes.
because when Motley, that album didn't sell well, they got Vince back. I mean, I know they did it under record company pressure. If anybody knows anything, don't believe the movie The Dirt. The reason they got Vince back, and Tommy Lee was very hesitant, was the record company said, "We're not promoting your next album unless you get Vince back." That's what really went down.
Well,
And
and the thing with the '94 album was that they didn't even want to call it Motley Crue,
yeah, and that
and
was
and
more record company pressure.
and
Yeah,
the record company said, "Oh, but you've got to call it Motley Crue because you've just signed this $25 million deal."
right.
And then what happened was when the album stiffed, all the people that were telling them that they should have called it Motley Crue were then saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have called it Motley Crue," and they were like, "Yeah, but that's what you told us to do."
Yeah, yeah, and I have an interview where Nicky talks about that, and they even asked him, "Well, what were you going to call the band?" He's like, "Well, we never got that far. They just wanted to change the name of the band." But it's funny how they didn't not only didn't change the name, but also just called the album Motley Crue.
Do you think? I mean, I know we're John, we're getting all over the place here, but do you think that if they didn't call the album Motley Crue, do you think it would have been successful?
No. Even if you change the name, there was a big stigma on bands like Motley Crue at the time. So
Yeah.
it would have. Let me put it this way: I think it'd be even less successful. I think it would even sold less
Mm,
because the Motley Crue name is what made it sell as much as it did. Starting from scratch, um, it's gonna be hard, man.
mm.
But you never look. Maybe you're right. I mean, maybe I don't know what you think, but maybe it would have been more successful because honestly, it's not Motley Crue. It's just not. And I'm not saying because Vince wasn't there.
Mm.
Musically, it was a radical departure. I mean, the only thing I can see hints of is the intro to Hammered. Sounds like an early Motley Crue riff. And
Poison
Poison Apple.
apples. Poison
Huh?
apples.
Poison
Poison
Apples
apples.
and Hammered. Hammered, that intro to Hammered reminds me of something off that could have been off Too Fast for Love.
And I
Had
do
that kind
think
of
I do
kick
think
riff.
I do think Power to the Music was directly the song that followed on from Primal Scream.
Yeah, it's a bit disjointed, but yeah, I agree. It almost sounds like a sister song to it. But we both agree on that. But going back to Exposed, um,
This album didn't even go gold, you know that?
I think the sound did worse than the Motley Crue one, didn't it?
It reached number 13.
And Motley hit the top 10.
7, yeah.
Okay, well there you go. Even more
See,
proof that
I'm such a geek.
well, no, but you know what? The thing is that further proof that I think I'm right. Because if you would have changed the name of the Motley Crue, it would have probably done as good as Exposed. You know,
Yeah.
because Vince Neil, it wasn't like David Lee Roth.
No.
It wasn't.
And
He was.
he didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. That that Motley Crue album, as I said before, is my favorite album by any band ever. And
Which is odd for a Motley Crue fanatic, because most Motley Crue fanatics hate that album because it doesn't have Vince.
yeah, see, I'm a bit. I guess it's from being a musician. I guess I probably look at music differently. I guess I don't know,
Right.
but I could. I mean that album just has got a lot of heart to it. I think, and
There's a lot of flavors to it too that
mm,
keeps me very interested. And
see that's
Karabi is
that's
amazing.
another thing. I don't like albums that are just the same thing all the way through.
Yeah, and that's not it.
With the exception of people like AC/DC, because they're just AC/DC,
Yeah,
But,
it's good old rock and roll, man.
yeah.
That's different. Yeah, there's a few bands, I like Motorhead. They're pretty much the same all the way through too.
I love Motorhead too. Yeah.
But all right. So you want to move on to the next record?
Carved in Stone.
Now you want to talk, and this one, I went and bought it without even hearing a song off the album. I just said, and you want to talk about badly promoted? I just saw this in a store one day.
Me too.
I was like, hey, I like to expose. Let's check this one out.
And this
Go
one
ahead.
made it to 139 in the States.
Wow, that's higher than I thought. Because this was not promoted at all. I mean, it was pretty much dead. And I remember I bought it. I put it in my car, popped it in, and I was horrified what I heard on track one. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I went to track two, and I was like, oh, okay, this is good. This album, I think, is criminally underrated. I think it's a really good album, but there's 3 tracks on it that are just fucking, what the fuck? One Way is another one, and what was the other? Find a Dream.
Yeah.
Those 3 songs are just like, what is this? It's like rap and industrial and all this garbage, where the rest of the album fucking rocks.
See, it's funny, this album. Like, I can listen to it, and I can listen to it all the way through and whatever. I don't love this album. I mean, I think, again, and I know it's a completely different album to the self-titled album, but it's kind of pursuing like a more modern approach, which is kind of what they did on the self-titled album. But some of the songs on here, man, are just not good.
Well, the 3 I mentioned, I have no problem with the rest of it. I really don't. Do you have a problem with the ones that aren't the 3 I mentioned?
I mean, I like The Crawl, and Skylar's songs are very cool. Writing on the Wall is very cool. One Less Mouth to Feed. But I mean, this album is very, very dark, very minor key type stuff.
Yeah.
And not a lot of light and shade on it. So
Yeah.
It's
pretty eclectic though, if you really think about it. I mean, not all songs sound alike. They're kind of, I hear some Sabbath in this album.
Yeah, true. No, that's true. But and I love the Rift. I think
the Rift is awesome.
It's very cool.
Great song. Moody.
Yeah, no, it is very cool, but it's funny. It's like, do I want to hear that from Vince Neil?
Well,
I don't know.
Well, that's kind of like, it's kind of unfair. It's because you want to put Vince in a box.
No, not really. I don't. Yeah, it's really hard to. I'm not making a lot of sense right now.
No. I think I know what you're trying to say. You don't think Vince Neil's voice fits the music, is what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, I just think there's. I mean, I think there's a reason why this album, apart from the time, which was obviously what it was. I'm not sure that the songwriting is there on everything on this. I mean, getting the Dust Brothers to produce you. I mean, I don't know.
Which were popular at the time, right?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of this. I guess this is the problem I have. I think it's kind of a jumping on the bandwagon album.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Like the 3 songs I mentioned, it was of the time.
Mm.
And And I did read an interview with Tommy Lee saying he loved it,
Yeah, well, yeah.
before Vince came back. Because, Tommy Lee was already leaning towards shit like breaking in the gun, and stuff like that. That when he heard that, he's like, ooh, I like this.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Tommy Lee, but yeah, I mean, if I love what Vince Neil said in The Dirt. He said if Tommy Lee had breasts, he'd be a Spice Girl. I do
uh,
think Tommy Lee likes to jump on the cool and hip.
one of my favorite lines in The Dirt was when Nikki said, "I never liked Pamela Anderson. She was like a girl Vince would fuck." Oh, that's right, he did fuck her. Which something we didn't talk about was the last album had the video for "Can't Have Your Cake and Eat It Too" that featured Pamela Anderson before
Correct.
she ever met Tommy Lee, and that's when Vince banged her. I mean, at the time,
Yes,
But
that video was a bit of eye candy, I think.
oh yeah, that was total, with the cars and the hot chick, here I go again type thing.
And
But
one I think that really needs to be said, and it's okay to be a fan and say when your heroes aren't doing so well, right? One thing I think that's really, really sad is that Vince Neil, and to their credit, unlike Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx, when Vince Neil goes out and plays his solo shows, he doesn't do anything from any of these records.
right, doesn't he do look? I think he still does "Look in Her Eyes." I believe he does. Maybe not, but I think he did.
Yeah, well,
but that's it.
It's. I think he should.
Oh, of course.
I think it's like. I mean, it's like with. I mean, it's like you doing Thrash or Die, or me doing my solo shows, and us releasing these albums and doing what we do, and they're not playing anything off them.
Yeah,
It's like, well,
that I can.
why did you
Yeah,
even do it in the first place?
Well, shit. I saw the Carved in Stone tour at a place called Mr. Laughs. Yes, a comedy club.
Yeah.
And all he played was The Crawl. That's the only song he played off this album that night.
See, I wish I could have seen those shows.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hate. Sometimes I'm so envious of Americans because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm envious of Americans too, because most shows don't come to South Florida, but that one oddly did. At a comedy club.
How many people were there? Do you remember?
Oh, it wasn't that empty. It was but it's a club. It was a little club. It was kind of packed, as I recall. And it was, I believe, a Saturday show. Probably wouldn't have done good on a weekday, but it was, and I remember it was promoted well because I found out about it. I remember reading it in the local music magazines, and I remember hearing it on the radio, giveaways and stuff. And I was like, shit, I'm going to go see Vince Neil, man. I dig, I do dig this album. I did like it, other than the 3 songs I said. And so I went to go see it. But I did leave going, fuck, dude, nothing but The Crawl. The Crawl is one of the best songs on there, but still, I would have loved to see One Less Mouth to Feed. I really like that one. And Writing on the Wall, I liked,
I'm not
Black
saying
Promises, I love. I love Black Promises on there.
I'm not saying I don't like this album. I just don't love it.
Right. Well, the songs that I like, I do love on here. Black Promises is awesome. It's so dark. But, it's not something that Vince Neil is known for. And of course, but this was so badly promoted. It was like really, I mean, I know he made a video for Skylar's song, but I never seen that till YouTube. I never seen that on MTV or anywhere,
No. Well, I mean, MTV just wasn't playing any of this type of stuff or anybody that was related to the 80s. It was like you were just, persona non grata. It was just like...
Yeah, you're a bad word. Even Generation Swine, that video for Afraid, they showed it on MTV like at 1 or 2 in the morning. That's the only time I ever saw it.
And I know that the hate mail is going to come in for this, but I love Generation Swine. See, Generation Swine is it goes from, there's all kind of different textures on that album going on, and Generation Swine, the title track is nothing like Let Us Pray, which is nothing like Confessions, which is nothing like, it's just, people can hate on me all they want to, but I think that
Oh,
album
fuck them.
is great. I really do. And I know I know fans of the old show like to pay out on the crew. So,
Yeah, yeah. And I'm guilty of it. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Generation Swine, but I mean, you can tell I'm legitimate if I say I don't like Generation Swine, but I liked Glitter. I mean, come on, you know? How can I like Glitter and hate that album?
Glitter is an amazing song.
Well, I'm there. I hate the remix on the Greatest Hits. I thought that shit was terrible.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I liked it on Generation Swine. I like Let Us Pray a lot. But Shout at the Devil, oh my God, that one is terrible.
See, I loved it.
I just,
I
that was
loved
total.
it.
That was total Tommy Lee too. That is 100% Tommy Lee making it. It was more of a, I don't know, like it's not hip hop, but it was like, I don't know, it sounded new metalish to me. But hey, man, you like it? That's
you
cool.
saw that tour, and they were hell on wheels on that tour.
What I saw Generation Swine with Cheap Trick.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Cheap Trick is another fabulous band.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites.
But Motley Crue were hell on wheels on that tour.
Well, they were awesome that night.
Absolutely, they would have been.
The drum solo was pointless and stupid, but other than that, they were on fire. I mean, but they, at the time they had something to prove. They were hungry. They wanted to be big again, and Generation Swine also didn't really do that well. I think it did well when it first came out. It hit the top 10 or something.
Number 4.
Yeah, it did well on the initial release, but then, when people heard it, they were like, "What the fuck?" Because there's Nikki Sixx trying to be David Bowie on Rocket Ship or whatever the name of that song is. And then there's Brandon. You like Brandon?
I do.
All right. I just wanted to know because I've never met somebody that liked Brandon.
I like it. I like it because it is different to the rest of the record. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm a parent. I get the sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
And people kind of chuckle at it now and all that stuff, but I bet he meant every word of it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, I just didn't get it myself. I found it funny,
Yeah, I know. I know.
And at the time, it really, I mean, come on, let's not bullshit each other here. At the time, it was the Pamela Anderson band because Motley Crue only got any kind of publicity because of Tommy and Pam at the time because she couldn't have been bigger at the time,
I would actually agree with that.
So they were known as the Pamela Anderson band, and I remember it really pissed Nikki Sixx off because during that time they were on Howard Stern and a caller called in and said that. Hey, is this the Pamela Anderson band? And Nikki got super pissed. I think Nikki was like, hang up on him. Some shit like that.
Was there a lot of people at that show?
Yes. That was at the West Palm Beach Amphitheater. And it was, I was all the way up front for that one, actually. And what was really fucked up about that show was Nikki Sixx said, which was super cool. He told the fans to bring their video cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And I took my video camera. Well, I didn't even own a video camera back then, but I had my brother owned one, so I borrowed it. And when I'm all the way up front, ready to, film Cheap Trick and Motley Crue, and the battery was dead.
And what an album Cheap Trick were touring on at the time.
That was the best Cheap Trick album since 1980, in my opinion, and the best Cheap Trick album since. Because I'm a big fan of the first album, all the way all shook up. Then I put '97 self-title, and I like rock. I like a few albums after that, but that album was phenomenal.
I like Woke Up with a Monster.
I thought that was a great album too. That was the album before it, right? Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big. It was a big improvement from the last, I don't know, since '83. That one I would put right under '97. But anyway, so
do you want to talk about the next Vince Neil release?
Yeah, I just want to say my favorite on here is The Crawl, and I don't know, man, Three-Way Tie with Breaking the Gun one way and Find a Dream. All right, the next one, wow, I don't even own this one.
It was Live at the Whiskey.
I don't own this, so I can't. I didn't even know this existed.
Okay, well now I did a review on Amazon at the time that this came out, and it was 2003 when this came out, and obviously it's a year before they decided to get back together for Red, White and Crew and the whole thing, which kicked off in February of 2005. But I'll just pull this up. And I remember in my review on Amazon, I said, is any crew better than no crew? Right? As in CAEW. Is any crew better than no crew? Because the track listing on this album, the only thing that's from either of his previous solo albums was Look in Her Eyes. The rest of this is, Kickstart, Knock 'em Dead Kid, Red Hot, Piece of Your Action, Girls, 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 Same Old Situation, Home Sweet Home, Looks That Kill, Smokin', and Livewire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, I mean, it's all right. He sounds pretty drunk.
Oh, does he?
He's at one point near the end. He goes, "Let's give shooters for everybody."
Oh boy.
It's all right. It's all right. I listen to it every now and again. I'm supposed to be the crew head here. I'm not building him up too much, am I?
I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
Because I am on Wikipedia now going through his discography, and I'm like, what the hell's this?
Yep. And, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's just okay.
Well, then, we got the next one that's pretty much a covers album, but there.
Hang on.
There's more to say.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Do you remember the now this is cool. I like this. Do you remember the VH1, the remaking of Vince Neil?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Barely, but I do remember. Yeah. They got him a personal trainer that made him throw away his Oreo cookies. I remember that scene.
And you in that episode or that special, he records a new song with Desmond Child. And that song was called Promise Me. And I really like this song.
Was that ever released?
Yeah, on iTunes. Not on iTunes in Australia. I had to steal it. I would have bought it, but it wasn't. We didn't have it. Yeah, and it's called Promise Me, and Desmond Child wrote it, and it's really cool. It's really good. It's a really good song.
I don't remember. I did see that show, though. I don't recall that.
So, yeah, it's very cool. And the vocal on it is excellent. And if you can find it out there or if it's on YouTube, and, it's obviously a very commercial song. It's not metal at all. It's not even hard rock, but I think it's pretty cool. Okay, now we can move on to Tattoos and Tequila, if you like.
Yeah, this is pretty much a covers album with just two songs
Mm-hmm.
that are not covers. And
Mm-hmm.
man, this is what I got to say about this. And I know you might not agree with me on this, but Vince Neil is awesome in the studio. I think
I agree.
he sings very well on these songs, these cover songs. Where like a big example, like if he ever attempted to do Nobody's Fault live, it would be a train wreck. But in here, he pronounces every single word. There's a lot of words in Nobody's Fault,
Yes, there are.
and he delivers it, man.
And let's
And
face it, Steven Tyler's not easy.
no, and he does it good. I mean, there's a couple, things on here that come on, you can't top the originals, but I think it's very commendable what he does on this album.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even mind the two songs that aren't covers, "Tattoos and Tequila" and "Another Bad Day,"
Do you
which
know that?
was a
Yeah.
yeah. I'm reading it right now. I know what you're going to say.
Mm-hmm.
That it was supposed to be a Motley Crue song, but Tommy Lee hated it.
It was going to be a song for Red, White, and Crew.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Tommy hated it, so it wasn't on. So it's on here, and I see that Tracy Guns, James Michael, Kevin Kaddish, and Nikki Sixx wrote it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then the other song is written by Marty Fredrickson.
And that guy's a great writer. He writes with See, it's my dream to be a songwriter for other people,
Right.
and so I know who all these guys are because I just think they write such incredible stuff. The guy's written with Foreigner and a bunch of people. I love this album.
Yeah,
I love this album.
I think this album rocks.
Yeah.
It's a good rock, and I think Vince sounds really good on it. But like I said, man, even on the last two albums, I think Vince, especially, I mean, to me, Vince will never top, and this is just my opinion, will never top his vocals on Danger. I think that's the greatest vocals he ever done. But I think when he went solo, I just feel like he was more focused on his vocal deliveries on these songs, and it doesn't stop even with all these covers.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I can't say anything bad about this album. I love everything that's on it. I love, 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 love Another Bad Day. I think that is a masterpiece of a song. Tattoos and Tequila is just amazing. The video clip's amazing. The book was amazing. It was awesome how Alan Kovac titled that together with the marketing of the book and the album, and the whole thing. This album is so well produced. I think the guys from Night Ranger didn't Jack Blades produce this?
I'm on the Wikipedia thing now, and it doesn't even show who produced this album.
Hang on. Okay, well, it says Jeff Blando played on it, Donna Strum played on it.
Zoltan. Have you seen Zoltan play?
Apparently he's awesome.
He's fucking visually unbelievably great. He's amazing. He's just like the most wackiest drummer I've ever seen live. He's just unbelievably good.
Is he? Do you think he's better than Tommy?
No. Well, I can't judge. I mean, judging by this album, no. I mean, I think Tommy Lee is one of the greatest drummers ever. To tell you the truth, he hits like Cozy Powell. The '94 album says it all to me. You listen to stuff like Red Hot and Bastards and Livewire. I mean, the guy's awesome.
I just challenge anybody to play Upside Down. Like, I mean, come, like, seriously, like, I mean, that would be very hard.
I don't know if you know this. Are you aware that Mick Mars's band in the '70s had a drummer that played upside down?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
Yep.
you saw that footage. There's
Yep.
actual video footage of a drummer that his drum kit went upside down. And Tommy Lee said it came to him in a dream. I don't know. I mean,
Uh,
might have. Maybe
come on.
Mick Mars never mentioned it, but I find it eerily a
It's
coincidence.
it's come
Yeah,
on.
I agree. I don't think Tommy Lee dreamed that shit. I think it was Mick saying, my drummer did that. You know?
But it has to be said, all the stuff that happened like before that, like on the Theatre of Pain tour when he was on it was like on a lift on the stage, and it kind of,
That was the best drum solo I ever seen Tommy Lee do. Was the
yeah, yeah.
Theater Paint drum solo.
And it has to be said that, yeah, I mean, that whole thing with playing upside down, um, he might have taken some of that, but everything he's done since, he didn't take.
Right.
I mean, the roller coaster thing and the I mean the
That
last,
circle thing.
yeah, I mean that's nobody's done that. Nobody's
Right.
ever done that that I'm aware of.
I'm wondering, what's he going to do this year?
Yeah, look, I've got to be honest about this tour. I hope Vince Neil gets back into shape, because
Yeah.
if Vince Neil can come out and sound the way he sounded, and it might have been studio enhanced, but if he can come out and sound the way he sounded on Red, White and Crew on that Carnival of Sins DVD, or he can come out and sound like he sounded on the Generation Swine tour, it'll be awesome.
Right.
And if he can come out and look fit and trim, and because when Vince Neil is in shape, he kills. I mean, he's not the greatest vocalist in the world, but he, I mean, nobody sounds like Vince Neil.
True. And I don't mind his voice. Yeah, live, man. I mean, I saw that farewell tour. It was choppy at best. I mean,
Yeah,
it was.
I know.
And but it's like he doesn't even try.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
but he does on these albums, though, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it might take him many takes, but I'm very. I was listening to this one before we started the show, and I do listen to it periodically, and it pops up on my iTunes shuffle here and there, a song here and there. But listening to it today, man, I mean, I was extremely impressed by a song that I never really done much for me, the original, but I love when he does "Who'll Stop the Rain" on this.
Yeah, me too. And
I think he does it so good.
because the band that I'm part of, Johnny and the Easy Riders, it's a covers band, but we do that song, and
Okay.
our guitar player sings it, and I copped that backing vocal harmony that he does. There's a harmony that he does in the song that's not in the Credence thing, and I stole it from this album, and I do it because I thought it was just so cool. No, I've got nothing bad to say about Tattoos and Tequila at all. I think it's a great album, and do you think there'll be any more solo Vince Neil material?
Good question. Like, I don't know, in the music climate today, I'd be surprised. I mean, maybe for download or something, but I mean, he's a touring machine now. All he does is play solo shows like a lot. And but who knows? I mean,
and a lot of them have been very bad lately.
Yeah, I don't. I would see a Vince Neil album before a new Motley album. That's for sure.
Do you think there'll be more Motley?
No. As far as new music, I think it's going to be a whole nostalgia trip. I think why I'm not interested to see Motley Crue now is because it's going to be a greatest hits shit. It's like they're not going to throw. I mean, they're not going to throw out like to me, the best set list was Red, White, and Crew
Yeah, it was
because
awesome, wasn't it?
they threw out Red Hot again, and I never seen them do On with the Show. They did it that night, and they just threw out some Louder Than Hell
Did
stuff
you
that
saw them in Florida, right? Was that the first show of the tour?
it was. Well, no, Puerto Rico and then Florida.
They did
They,
Afraid that night, didn't they?
I believe so, yes,
Oh,
and Glitter. They
yeah,
did
I
Glitter
know.
that night.
I know.
And yeah, On with the Show. On with the Show is the one that really floored me. I was like, whoa, because I've never seen Motley do anything from the first album except Peaceful Reaction and Livewire.
And
Though I
Vince was really good that night, wasn't he?
yeah, he was amazing. That
Yeah.
show was amazing.
Yep.
That show was unbelievably good. What a stage show! That's what Kiss should have done on the Psycho Circus tour. Did like that circus theme. No, it was great. They were on fire, and Tommy was back, and Tommy's solo career didn't go as he intended. So, of course, they were hungry again.
I do like that. I do like that Tommy Land the Ride album. I do like that.
I don't think I've ever even heard it. I heard I have because I saw Tommy Lee live, and I met him. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
that picture I took with him. He doesn't take pictures with fans anymore, so I got lucky.
Oh,
But you go to the.
he does now. He does
Oh, he
now.
does. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's going to be doing it on this tour.
Oh,
Do you,
wow.
do you, do you think this tour will even? What do you think is going to happen with the world the way it is?
Well, he just came out and said it's still a go, but I don't know, man. I really don't know if it is a go or not. But you know what, man? I'd be afraid to go to any show now. So
Mhm.
not just that one.
Mm.
I don't. I want to stay away from people.
So do you think this tour will be? They'll do one run around the world and that'll be it.
Yeah, but I don't think this is the last of Motley Crue because Motley Crue. Look, the farewell tour, Nikki Sixx had a plan that he thought was going to happen, and it didn't. He thought 6 a.m. was going to take care of him for the rest of his life. He thought that, after the crew was over, he thought that 6 a.m. album was going to be huge, and he was going to live off that for the rest of his life. But since that didn't work out, I really do honestly believe they thought it was the farewell tour. When they signed that contract, oh, yeah, that's it. We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
Tommy, I don't know if Tommy, thought he was going to, go on to be popular as a solo artist because he already.
Well, Tommy hasn't done anything.
Exactly.
Like nothing.
And
I mean,
look, man.
When did that last Methods of Mayhem album? Because there was a second album. When did that? I mean, I've got
I
it,
don't even know. I don't even know.
but it wasn't. It wasn't after that tour. It's not in the last 4 or 5 years. I know that.
Yeah, he's pretty much knows where his bread is buttered, and it's no secret he doesn't like Motley Crue music anymore.
Mm.
I mean, you ever seen the Resurrection of Motley Crue?
Yeah, man, I'm all over that stuff.
He says it in there. I'm just tired of playing all fucking these songs again.
I think that's the greatest documentary of Motley Crue ever.
Right. Well,
But,
I mean, here, it's, and he said it in several interviews during the Methods of Mayhem stuff. He's over it. He doesn't like the Motley Crue type of music anymore. So, this whole thing is a cash grab for him, and for the rest of them. Vince Neil is the only one I would say is the most Motley of the crew. Mick is kind of a quiet guy, but I think his heart's really into the blues and stuff like that.
I can't wait for his record, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And but Vince is the one that still loves that music. Nicky doesn't.
I think
Tommy,
Mick does. I think Mick loves it.
Probably.
Yeah,
It's
he
just
does.
I can't. You don't hear him say anything negative. But Nicky has bashed the genre, and Tommy has bashed the actual Motley. Vince has never said a bad word of it, and when he goes on tours, all he does is play Motley songs. So
You see, but the thing is, and again, this is about being a fan and not being blind. Um, Motley Crue followed on. I mean, I know they did anyway, but Motley Crue really followed on from Van Halen, and Van Halen was a blonde guy and three
Right.
guys with long black hair,
Yeah.
and then Motley Crue was the same, and then that whole LA movement, with the Poisons and the Warrants and the whatevers. But I mean, really, Van Halen started all that.
Oh yeah, no, there's no denying, David Lee Roth, really, well, Eddie too. Eddie's playing, but as far as like the, prototype of a front man of the '80s, that was all David Lee Roth. Shit, even Paul Stanley tried to be David Lee Roth in the '80s,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's the whole party thing and drinking Jack Daniels on stage. That Dave did that shit first, you know. And so yeah, I definitely credit Van Halen for your warrants and stuff like that. I mean, it's not their fault. There's a lot of people that hate Pantera because they spawned a lot of new metal type bands.
I
It's
don't,
not their
I don't,
fault.
I don't hate Pantera at all. I think Pantera
No,
was
no, but they
really,
are hated for that. But but Van Halen doesn't get that hate, because they were groundbreaking. They were a groundbreaking band, and yeah, Motley Crue owes a lot of their success to Van Halen, actually, because of the whole LA scene. They owe a lot of their success to Quiet Riot too, believe it or not. A lot of those bands do. Even though
true,
Quiet Riot
true.
died quick because of Kevin DuBrow's mouth, but they're
It
the ones
wasn't.
that
It
opened the
wasn't. It
floodgate.
wasn't just to do with his mouth, though, man. It was the songs. The songs. Everything is always about the songs. The songs really on Condition Critical, and especially on QR3. I mean, I love The Wild and the Young. I think that song's a masterpiece. But the rest of the album was woeful.
Terrible.
It was
I
terrible.
saw I saw that tour, and I won the album on the way out,
Oh, God.
QR3,
And I
and
own
I
it.
went.
I own that album.
Yeah, I won it. Just I walked out in the radio station. I forgot what I did to get it, but I got it. And when I came home and played it, I was like mortified how bad it was.
They were,
It
they were,
was like
they
Jesus, is
they
terrible.
were probably like, we'll pay you to take it.
Yeah, I didn't know though. But, I was like, oh, cool, I got it. I like Wild and the Young. But
I do too. I think Wild and the Young's a great song. But it's just
yeah, I liked it.
the rest of the album wasn't great.
Yeah, and Condition Critical. I mean, it had its moments, but
Hmm.
like two, three songs I liked. The rest was just garbage too. And to follow up, to make the first single another Slade song, come on,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. Well,
But
this has been awesome. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Um, but you know, I support you, Ralph, and I will
thank you, man. I
continue to
appreciate it.
support you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And
And
give us some plugs, dude. Plug your band, plug your music,
yep,
plug anything you want.
yeah. If people want to check me out, some people may know me through the Classic Metal Show. If you don't, I'm on there all the time with calling in with and Neely and Chris. But yeah, I'm a professional musician. That's what I do. I've got cerebral palsy. I play keyboards and sing and write songs, and I work with cerebral palsy organisations all over the world, and they help me to promote my music. And they get 20 to 30% from every stream and every download we sell. And the analogy
Awesome.
that I always use is nobody buys Stevie Wonder's music because he's blind. Hopefully my music is good, and hopefully it very proudly wears my influences on my sleeve. There's lots of guitars, there's lots of loud drums, loud guitars, loud bass, but the choruses are pretty strong. So please check it out. My latest EP came out in December 24th last year. No apologies. And all you have to do is stream it. If you want to download it from iTunes, that'd be really cool. But it's available everywhere, as is the rest of my catalogue digitally. Just look up TJ James and you'll find it. And it rocks pretty hard. I'm very proud of it.
Right on, man. I'm going to check it out myself, man. I haven't heard it yet.
And so you can check me out on my Facebook, which is TJ James Music. And my website's tjjames.com.au. And the covers band I play in is Johnny and the Easy Riders, and that's johnnyandtheeasyriders.com.
Right on, TJ. Well, I want to thank you for donating to not only the Rock and Metal, but to the VR Vault, which was super nice of you to do. I really do appreciate your support. It means a lot.
Are you going this year?
No, it was canceled.
Yeah. Oh, they canceled. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they canceled it. But I was going to go anyway. That's a whole other story.
Well, as I said, and I hope you wear this. I support you and I support Ian.
Good.
And I'm listening to Ian's new show. I can't even pronounce it's Diabolus in Podcastica or something it's called. And I'm not meaning that to be disrespectful. It's just hard to pronounce it.
I didn't even know about this.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
Okay, cool. Good
but but it's kind of like the original Van Halen.
Oh no! What you're saying? It's like Van Hagar? Well, you like Van Hagar, so it's not a slight saying for you to say that.
But I mean, it's very cool. It's 5 stars. Also, it's just different.
Right. Well, I would hope so.
Yeah. Well, but now it's kind of like we get the best of both worlds, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Like Van Halen.
You get I didn't even mean that as that actually.
Right.
But you get Ozzy and Dio.
There you go. That's a better way of saying it.
All right, brother.
Well, I'm going to check it out. What's it? Oh, you can't. Can you pronounce that again? I didn't even know about. And probably people are saying bullshit. You're lying.
What's that? Well, it's like kind of what was the Slayer album?
Diablos and Musica.
Yeah. But this is called Diablos in Podcastica.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I support whatever Ian does. I wish him the best, and he's going to do fine without me. He's great. I think Ian's funnier than me. It just didn't work out with us toward the end. It just, shit happens. And it just had to stop.
Well, I'm still,
for my sanity.
Ian doesn't agree with me, but I love Ian, and you might not agree with me either. But I predict that somewhere down the line there will be a reunion.
Well,
of some description.
I want to say never, but I really don't see it. But who knows? I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but I sincerely doubt it. But
if you need support, again, for anything that you're doing, donation wise or anything, let us know, okay?
Thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. And but all I want is support, really. I mean, just keep on checking out the Vieira Vault. I'm going to have one up every week. I mean, as of now, I have so many on the list. Though yours going to be up first. So I'm doing another one later today.
So what do you got coming up?
Rory Gallagher, which I don't know much about, but I'm going to do that. No Peth album. I got a Shining episode that I already did with Nate, but it's going to be a bitch to edit. So I got 4 podcasts on the roster. So next month, but I still got many donations to take care of, and I plan on doing every single one of them. And just to thank you all. Thank you all. I did not. It sucks because when I left the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast, I forgot about the donations and stuff, and it wasn't really on my mind. And then I got some shit I've heard from the group of, oh, look how you abandoned everybody, and oh, Ian's doing the donations. You're not like Ralph. And I'm like, wait a second, I'll still do them. I just didn't think, offhand, but whatever, man. People, and I'm sure some people think, oh, he's just doing them because Ian's doing it. He doesn't want to look bad. Well, yeah, of course. I don't want to. I don't. It's not that I don't want to look bad. I honestly didn't think of the donations, and I'm the type of person that I don't fuck anybody over. So
Yeah, I
if
know.
you donated, I'm going to take care of you, every single one of you. I want to do them all, and I will. I mean, and I stress to anybody listening, if you donated, please let me know, because I've had a couple people tell me, hey, I donated, but I'm sure there's more donations that I don't know about, and I do want to know.
Mm,
So that's it. That's pretty much it.
yeah.
But thank you, brother. Thank you so much, and best of luck with your music. And it's really commendable. And I'm sorry to hear about the cerebral palsy, but
I'm
it's
not.
awesome that. Well, I mean, come on.
Look, I mean,
Uh,
no, I mean, like, I mean, look, it's happened, and the reality is that I might not even be as into my music as I am if I didn't have it, because
right.
because
So
when I
there's
was,
an advantage to it.
well, you see, when I was born, the doctor said to my parents, that the right side of my brain, which is the more creative side, because cerebral palsy is all like motor skill,
Mm,
and the right side of my brain would overtake the left side, which is the more creative side.
right.
So if it wasn't for this, who knows that I'd even be, as obsessed with music as I am. But I'm a really happy guy. I mean, I've been married for 18 years. I've got a wonderful little girl, and life's good. You know.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So yeah, well, I'm really happy to hear that, dude. And
Yep.
I'm happy that you're doing something about it as well with the organizations, and that some of your proceeds of your music is going into that. That's awesome. Love hearing stuff like that. And again, I mean, I wish you more luck than most musicians, because honestly, yours is going to a good cause instead of cocaine and hookers.
Yeah. I mean, well, when I do have a few drinks, I start to walk straighter.
Well, anyway, thank you so much, TJ. This has been a great episode too, by the way. And I'm gonna have you back on, man, eventually. When I do anything crew related, I gotta have you here.
Yeah.
I,
Well, I know my stuff.
yeah, I'm sure you do. So I promise we'll work things out. We are recording this over here early. What time is it over there now?
It is now 2:15 in the morning.
What? And it's noon over here. A quarter
Yeah.
past noon. Wow. So and I can work around schedules. As you know, I'm retired now, so yeah, I
Are
can
you
do
are you
this.
are you enjoying your retirement, sir?
No, because of the coronavirus. No, I'm not. I wish I could be out there traveling and doing shit that retirees do. I'm stuck in my house. But I am happy I don't have to work now, and because my job, all my coworkers they're forced to go to work, because I work for the city, so an important job. So I'm glad I don't have to do that shit no more. But and I'm just home, staying safe. I don't want to get nothing.
No.
I'm I'm
How,
I'm
how
very very
how old are you,
afraid.
brother?
Huh?
How old are you?
55.
Oh, really? Cool. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm 8 years younger.
Yeah, here in I don't know how it is in the States, but when you turn 55, you're eligible to retire in the States.
Wow. No, it's 65, 70 here.
Wow. Wow. I'd still be at work.
Yes, you would.
But anyway, dude, it's been a great episode. Thank you so much, not only for the donations, but for being an outstanding guest
All
and
right,
knowing your
brother.
shit about Motley Crue and Vince Neil and so forth.
I
So,
knew I knew all this useless knowledge would come in handy one day.
of course, hey man, we all have a lot of useless knowledge, you know.
All right, brother.
So yeah, you have a great one, and we will have you back. Well, I will have you back on eventually. So thank you so much for everything, dude.
No worries, no problem.
All right, bro. Take care.
Cheers.
A huge thank you to TJ James, not only for donating, but man, what a great guest. Knows his crew, and I will have him back when I have something crew related. So you know what time it is. Follow me. Now we're inside the vault, and something that we forgot to talk about during this episode was a B-side from the Carved in Stone era. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was Exposed. I think it was Carved in Stone. Vince did a cover of 250624, the Chicago song, and I think it's the best cover he's done from all the covers he's done. I think this rocks. Turn this shit up.
Waiting for the break of day.
25 or 624. Vince Neil doing that Chicago classic. Well, my friends, it comes to the end of another Vieira Vault, but I already have another one recorded for next week. So please tune in, and thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for listening to my voice right now, because you are the best. And I love you all, and stay safe, everybody. Stay indoors, please. I want this all to go away. I am sick of my house. But I'm glad and happy that I have this podcast and my YouTube page and all my music and all my movies to keep me entertained. Without all this, I'd probably be outside, not only without a mask and without gloves, but I'd probably be naked with an axe killing people right about now. But all this stuff is keeping me sane, like the Vieira Vault, and like all of you that not only listen, but all you that share my episodes. I thank you so much. You know who you are. So many of you do it. I see a lot of people sharing the links to the show, and that makes me feel great that you guys do that for me. Much appreciated. I love you all. Till next time, schmack 'em a gob.